Okay, sit back down. That what I wanted you to do was to turn your head around because we're going to start something else. Okay? And this time, I'm not going to use this quite yet. I'll tell you when we have to do it. This time, we're going to talk about back to basics, but not the basics of what many people talked about in America for a long time, meaning that we got to get back to doing the very, very, very bottom line of everything. Yeah, we need the new video, a new PowerPoint, sorry. And what we're getting back to are the basics of teaching English. Teaching English language, I should say. Okay? Just a couple, you know, I kind of guide my life by sayings, can you tell? I don't know if anybody else does that or not, but I do. There it is again. I'm going to skim over several activities and touch each one briefly. A lot of the things that I've been with you these last 2 days, we could take one section of it and it would be a graduate course. Okay? So you've got ideas briefly and just we'd like to spend more time with each one, but this hopefully is just opening you to some new ideas, a new world or a different world, or maybe even reinforcing what you already do. Because as teachers, we need that a lot. We need somebody to say, it's okay to close the textbook. It's okay to be creative and teach. This is to get you to think seriously about your teaching of English, especially. I'm going to go right through this because we don't need to. I think if we had a little session and we'd say, what is it you want your students to leave you with? I think most of us would say we want them to be autonomous learners. I think he said it very clearly this morning or this afternoon when he kept saying, we want them to be learners all their life. We want them to keep learning. That's an autonomous learner. We talked about this already. It's the only way you're going to grow. When I first started teaching, I remember the one woman coming to me and saying, I have taught in this same classroom for 35 years, and I know that third graders, blah, blah, blah. And as a young teacher, right out of college, I thought, if you've taught in that same classroom for 35 years, and you've taught third graders, you don't know a lot. Because you've missed out on a whole world. And you have very little experience. And even as a young teacher, I thought, I will never say that. Those will never be words that come out of my mouth, because I will never experience that. I feel very strongly about this. I don't know if some of you do this, and if I'm stepping on your toes, but because I don't know, it's not your toes I'm stepping on. I even got to the point I would put my desk in the back of my room because that's where I needed a desk because it had all my stuff in it. But I found, you see me here. How many times have I even sat down while I'm talking to you all? You just don't, because how can you interact if you're sitting behind the desk and it's protecting you from those children who are going to attack you? All right. This is what we're going to learn about today. So, I don't care what grade you're teaching. Start the day with a song. We're gonna pretend it's morning. This is the way this song goes. And you're gonna sing it with me after I teach it to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. We're all in our places with sunshiny faces. Oh, this is the way to start a new day. Good morning to you. Did you already know that song? No. Or you just followed along with it? Remember I told you yesterday that I was dealing with the first graders and I forgot to engage them and I forgot to bring them in the circle. This is the song we started out with every day. And boy, let me tell you, if I forgot it, those little chairs were moving up in a circle and they were sitting there ready to sing the song. So let's try it again. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. We're all in our places with sunshiny faces. Oh, this is the way to start a new day. Good morning to you. And you're teaching English. What a great way to start with a smile. To start the day with a smile and start the day with saying good morning. All right. Now we're going to talk about prosody. Who knows about prosody? Who's ever heard that word before? One person. Two people. That's right. Prosody is the emphasis and that we put on different syllables and the flow of our language. Every language has prosody. When we don't teach prosody, we have people who talk like this. They talk more like robots because they're not talking with prosody. Okay? You can tell a lot of times when people are not native speakers because they did not learn prosody. Okay? So prosody is very important for learning the English language. Most people don't know about it. Most people don't even teach it. When we just did the song just now, that's one way of teaching prosody. This just gives you the formal definition so that you have the formal definition.
Is this different from an like where the accent is in the word? Or is it?
How is it different?
It's more like how it flows in the
Rising
tone
tone and falling tone.
What?
Rising tone and falling tone, so that you don't sound like.
Say it one more time. You have your hand up. No, you had your hand up.
It's like to use rising tone and falling tone, like we have to teach
Yes.
what to use when we ask questions, so rising tone, falling tone.
Right. But it's more than that. Yeah, it's everything that we talk about.
Yeah, basically.
Now, what you're going to find is not only are people who are learning English having trouble with prosody, but many of our students who have autism or a learning disability need to be taught prosody. It doesn't come naturally to them. We have plenty of children that it comes naturally to, because they do it from the time they're babies. It's a natural ingredient in all language. Can we watch this video and I'll show you what I mean about, we often have babies. Listen to hear the prosody in this. Oh, there we go. A little bit of coffee. There we go.
It's funny. They were twins, right?
You know, I'm not sure, it didn't say.
Okay.
I actually looked this up from looking at Prosody. I want you to think for a few minutes about the normal language development of any native speaker. Birth to 1 year, it's that receptive language. They're listening, their association, they're watching. As the woman said on the TED Talks, they're brilliant at that time. Because what they're doing is taking in this language. Another thing that didn't come out on there that you probably already know, before a child really begins to speak, they say every sound in every language that we've ever used as humans. It's only when they start to speak that they learn the language of the native speaker that they are. 1 to 2 years, still receptive language continues, but now expressive language comes in. They're starting to talk a little bit. Look at 2 years, 1 to 2 years. Remember these numbers I'm giving you. Okay? They talk about body parts, clothing, food. They can even follow 2-part directions like pick up the trash, put it in the trash can. 4 to 5 years. Then the receptive language comes. They still are starting to understand full conversations. Expressive, they're up to about 1,500 words. How long's it taken them? 4 to 5 years. Many of our students with disabilities need to be taught languages. To be taught prosody. But I want you to think too, what you're doing sometimes, and I don't think you are because I'm hearing what you're saying. Let me rephrase it. What many English language teachers are doing. It takes us 4 to 5 years to get to 1,500 words to develop the language. They walk in an English language classroom, and how long does it take before we start teaching them grammar rules? 1 day? I think you're about right. I think he's very close. I don't think you all do so much because I think you're beyond that. But I see it. I see it I don't understand why we think we have to teach grammar, and we haven't even gotten to vocabulary or communication. Do you have an idea?
I actually want to ask your opinion. Are you talking about teaching grammar to all students or just children? What about adult learners?
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. Oh yeah, I've been teaching adult learners for a long time. And I see people, they walk in, we start giving them grammar rules.
Yeah.
When did you start, those of you from America, when did you really start studying grammar? I don't think they ever. When did you start studying grammar?
In 7th grade.
7th grade? I got it in high school. Yes. Wait, let's listen. Let's listen. We have a question.
Acquisition, and that spread between the years. So during the first year, the child is getting sounds, but when he or she is 4 or 5 years, the child is learning grammar already. Just when he or she is listening how parents are talking, using present perfect continuous or something like that, he or she is using and learning grammar already.
Sometimes bad grammar, but yes.
Yeah, but actually, and it will be our role as a teacher to correct this bad grammar.
Well, and that's why I'm asking these people. And I'm talking more about what we do in English language classes where we start teaching grammar rules. Well, let's talk English language.
I have a question. So, like, we were just talking about, in Ukraine, grammar is like a very important. It's like basically it's like a lot of the curriculum, and our students are still making a lot of mistakes
Yes.
on the grammar, even though they've been learning the same
Yes.
grammar. So then, how can we change that? So,
Okay,
like,
about 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I'd say now, the research changed. And if you belong to TESOL or you belong to any of the international organizations, you will get the research and what they're saying. And what they said is, quit teaching grammar rules. Teach people to communicate. Teach them to talk. Teach them about, all those things I had up there about the realia and all that kind of thing. Many countries have changed. But I know what Moldova's like. I don't know about Ukraine, but you just told me. I know what Russia is like. I know what a lot of the former Soviet Union countries are still stuck. And I've tried to figure out why. I'm trying to figure out if the research has changed, and the research tells us that we're not being effective, we're losing a lot of speakers, we've made it very boring because we're teaching grammar rules all the time instead of like real vocabulary and talking. I don't know the answers.
I just wanted to share, the best student at our school is one of her 8B students, and she has impeccable grammar. She's amazing. She has like an amazing, like a very wide-ranging vocabulary. She developed her language skills not from like reading a textbook, but communicating with people online. Like she's into like talking about TV shows online and reading. She loves to read books and talk about art, and she's a total like nerd. And it's great. It's great. She's awesome. And she's at a level that most students will never get to just by studying.
And by talking.
Yes, she's there's a lot of students that even if they're in the 10th or 11th form, like I'll say, oh hey, how's it going? How are you? And they'll they freeze up.
Yeah,
they're not,
it's so scary for them. Yeah. Yes.
I was a little bit hung up on I won't pretend to say I've seen the research or anything, but is it fair to compare American children learning English by immersion, learning grammar by immersion, is it fair to compare that to foreign language speakers?
Well,
because
the research is not about that. I just brought that in. The research is, the research that was done 20, 25 years ago that changed our way of teaching English language went into where we're teaching English language all over the world. And how in 20, 25 years ago, it was very, very stringent, very much grammar, very much this way. And that's when they started really looking at what we're doing and how effective we were. So no, it's not fair. If we were trying to do that, we wouldn't do that. Because going into immersion as a whole, but then sometimes that immersion thing, like I said, I'm from West Virginia. People don't talk too good there. So what we had to do there is change the way that we used the grammar. But again, we didn't do grammar till I was in high school. I didn't know grammar rules. I didn't know any of that.
right. So, like, my follow-up is a practical example for the number of times, like, if I'm in the classroom ahead of my counterpart and the kids ask, will Tatiana, they ask me in Ukrainian, will Tatiana be here? And the number of times I have said, she will be here, and the dumb blank stares that I get from the students who have heard this over and over, and then I translate for them. How do you teach grammar without formal structure when the 2 or 3 classes a week is not immersion? They're not getting
They're not getting
Unless
it.
you have the star student who is reading every day, where do they get that structure for the vocabulary?
But what the research tells us, they're not getting it by you teaching grammar rules.
Okay.
That's what the research tells us. That they're not no, they didn't get it by you teaching the grammar rules. That you keep talking and you keep incorporating all this stuff we're talking about. So that pretty soon it comes to them what you're talking about.
I had a question regarding like poor grammar, quote unquote, and prosody. Has it been shown that like the children will then correct themselves the longer they hear themselves speak with poor grammar, to the point where they
No.
understand? No.
They're going to speak the way people around them are speaking.
Okay. And
Yeah.
can I have a follow up? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
With the prosody, so like Scott said, that we do speak to them in a very monotonous, rhythmic way when we are teaching. Is it like progressively throughout their learning experience, we will change that to more of a native
Yes.
speaker? But has it been shown that that rhythmic way does help them in the beginning, or is it just native speaker all the way? Is that the most helpful? Do you happen to know? Was that clear?
I'm not sure what your question is.
Sure, I guess my question is it more helpful for us to start out like this, and this, and this, and this, or to just speak to them like I am speaking?
It's more helpful for you to speak in your natural tone.
Okay.
Yeah.
But is that not too, never mind,
No.
that goes into, okay.
That it all comes together. When you start out, they're gonna understand you as much, speaking with all your emphasis and everything, as if you're speaking like a robot. They're gonna understand you just as well. Yes?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
If we are speaking about grammar, it's like we speak about fluency, yeah?
Yes.
But if it is about preparation for taking notes, we need accuracy. That's why we need grammar. And that's why in high school we need much time to get our students ready for grammar. How would they take notes if they don't know grammar?
How will they do what? How will they practice?
It's a passive.
Well, okay, you understand, I understand all that. It's still not the right way to teach. It's still not the right way to teach English language, even though you've got a ministry saying they gotta take tests. Okay? Yeah. So I understand what you're talking about, and I understand the problem you're talking about. If they can learn to communicate in the vocabulary and into the grammar before they actually take it, the grammar will be easier for them. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's an issue you have to deal with. And it's still here in these countries. That issue is still here in these countries. Yes?
Just partially to answer your question, and probably that's the case where Ukrainian teacher and volunteer can combine their efforts and serve all people. National curriculum in terms of grammar to teach these rules or something like that, and volunteers to teach them to communicate. And unfortunately, in many cases in our schools, English is viewed as a subject, but not as a way of communication. And that's the role of volunteer, to show that it's not a subject, it's a tool for communication. And that's just the case where Ukrainian counterparts and volunteers can combine their efforts.
And something else in kind of promotion of communication type of education, it's all already pronounced quite openly by the government. It's in the new Ukrainian school. One of competences is communication in foreign languages. So, I'm more than sure that following years will demonstrate new types of tests for us, where communication structure will be included, and listening comprehension and communication skills will be tested too. The other thing, or at the same time, understand the problem of our teachers having 2 hours a week. You have to please everyone's wishes, and which is extremely difficult, having up to 30 kids in the classroom now with a lot of students with disabilities, and this is the reality, and we have to really to meet everyone's requirements. This is the huge challenge, but that's unfortunately how it is.
Absolutely.
At the same time, you don't have to teach all 30 to pass independent testing, right? But you have to teach them to be able to communicate to some extent. Everyone is able to, right?
Two more and we're gonna move on, okay? This is a big subject, isn't it? Yes.
So based on this conversation, I've heard that a lot of us struggle with teaching grammar in a short period of time and making sure that they know it. But also prosody, I thought that I would share my personal experience of something that really helped me. When I was studying Spanish, we had songs with grammar rules.
Start the rules, yeah. Oh,
And
okay.
I graduated, this was already almost 10 years ago, and I still remember the songs. And I haven't sung them in years.
Right.
But this is something, it was catchy, so it helped me learn it. But I still remember these specific grammar rules, and also prosody, from something very simple. And this could be like our morning introduction song.
Yes. Yeah, and even, there's a great song like with the vowels. You know how kids have trouble understanding what vowels are and what consonants are? And there's a great song like A-E-I-O-U, A-E, you know, that kind of, there's all kinds of stuff. And you are exactly right. We know from when television first came, how children learned the commercials because they were in song. Okay, you.
I just had a last comment based on what Tamara was saying, and she said we have to get everyone to pass the test or be at least communicative. And my big struggle is keeping kids engaged who have checked out long ago and feel totally defeated when it comes to learning English or don't care at all. And I feel like, what about the kids who are super engaged? Do I pay less attention to them so I can try to engage everyone? Or do I focus on the kids that I think will go farther with English? How best do I use my time?
I think you could use those more advanced students also to help you with that. Because when you're only one person, there's probably more than one person that checked out a long time ago. So you could use those, you could use your advanced students, and like, I do that sometimes, and they really like being kind of like the teacher's pet kind of like person. They like being like helping other people.
Yeah, and why did they
Maybe not
check?
all the time.
Why did they check out?
But
Okay, let's go to the next one. I'm afraid that we're. Okay, I gotta share this one thing with you. This is another research study that just hit me hard. And I want to do an analogy with the students you're teaching. This is a research study where they looked at thousands of children. And they looked at children in poverty and those not in poverty. Okay? It's easy to tell in the United States because if you're in free lunch, you're in poverty. So it was easy and it was thousands of children from lots of different places, randomly selected. What they found was that children by the age of 3, children in poverty had a 30 million word gap. They had heard 30 million less words than those not in poverty by the age of 3. This changed the way we started with the way we were teaching. Once we learned this research, and once we learned what the difference was, you can't take them all in kindergarten and treat them the same. 30 million less words. Now, what hit me when I was teaching in Moldova, and I had the English track, I was teaching first graders and fourth graders. The kids spoke what I thought was great English, okay? But it wasn't very long until I would say something like, you need to move that apparatus someplace else. What's an apparatus? This is fourth graders. Do you think that we need to change the conditions of this room? What are conditions? Huge vocabulary gap. And these kids had, now what happened was only one of those children came from a home where English was the language. But they had been educated in very good English speaking schools. They had been educated in Germany, in Dubai, in France, in Poland, in very good English speaking schools. But they had an unbelievable vocabulary gap from children that English was spoken in the home. My guess is, most of the students you are working with, English is not spoken in the home. So my guess is, you need to pay attention to this. Because my guess is they have a very limited vocabulary. Even the one who can speak to you really good. The vocabulary compared to a child who comes from English spoken in the home is quite different. Okay? Just, I wanted to bring that to you so you could understand the importance of vocabulary development. When teaching English language, prosody is mandatory. I'm going to move on with this one. Okay, so how do we do it? How do we do prosody? Well, you can Google it. There are so many worksheets. Somebody was talking about how you draw this way or how you draw this way when you're doing an interrogative sentence, and you do worksheets to show how it flows and all that kind of thing. And they could do homework on those worksheets. I don't recommend that. That's false. That's setting up a false situation. Do you like what homework says? I love the head. Incorporating prosody into our language should be a natural process, not a time to memorize and do paperwork. This goes right along with what you were saying. Don't be afraid to sing. If you can't even carry a tune, they don't care. Just do it. Do choral readings, clap sentences, read theater scripts. Try to do all of these. Incorporate it into what you're doing. Okay, we're going to start. Watch me. My name is Virginia Simmons. You do it. If you didn't have prosody, it was like this. My name is Virginia Simmons. Okay? With prosody, my name is Virginia Simmons. Now do it. So it's something that kids can do. You can go around the room, they can do it. How about this one? I'm not going to do it for you first. You do it. Just do the one line. Do it in prosody. Good. That's not easy, is it? That is not easy. Because the prosody is making the claps go different. So you work on doing their names first. Again, they're learning English, but they're learning prosody. Okay? So then let's go to. You know this song? Yes. All right. Please, let's all do it together. When we first sing it, we just say B-I-N-G-O. The second time around, we don't say the B. We clap. Okay? The third time around, we don't say the B-I. We clap. Let's do it. There was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, there was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, I-N-G-O, I-N-G-O, and Bingo was his name. Oh, there was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, there was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, there was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, O, G-O, Oh, and Bingo was his name. Oh, there was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, and Bingo was his name. Oh, the hard one is the next to the last, because if you got, and I'm telling you, you guys did a good job. Most groups cannot get that because you gotta go. Oh. See, you have a different rhythm. It's a different rhythm with it. Okay. Now we're doing another. Sasha, I don't know how to hold this.
I'm already recording you anyway.
Oh, can I do this without holding the microphone? Okay, because I got to use my hands. Okay, first of all, I'm from the South, so we say lion instead of lion. You can say lion if you want to, or you can, if you're from the South, you can explain to the students that it is lion, but you say lion. The other thing is we don't say hunting. We say hunting. So you'll hear me say, I'm going lion hunting, but you can say lion. It's probably hard to say hunting because it's adding a whole new thing to it. So this is what we do on this. I'm going to say a line, and you're going to, a L-I-N-E, about the line, and you're going to repeat it. Don't get ahead of me. Don't try to say my part. You do the repetition part. What I want you to listen for as we do this is I want you to listen to the prosody of all of this, okay? Because this is one of the best things, and the students love it. This is one of the best things to teach prosody. So we start out like this. Everybody get into it. I'll say a line, and you repeat it. I'm going lion hunting.
I'm going lion hunting.
I'm not afraid.
I'm not afraid.
Got my trusty guns.
Got my trusty guns.
And my bullets by my side.
And my bullets by my side.
Grass.
Grass.
Tall grass.
Tall grass.
Lion.
Lion.
Are you in there?
Are you in there?
No.
No.
I'm going lion hunting.
I'm going lion hunting.
I'm not afraid.
I'm not afraid.
Got my trusty guns.
Got my trusty guns.
And my bullets by my side.
And my bullets by my side.
Bridge.
Bridge.
Long bridge.
Long bridge.
Lion.
Lion.
Are you over there?
Are you over there?
No.
No.
I'm going lion hunting.
I'm going lion hunting.
I'm not afraid.
I'm not afraid.
Got my trusty gun.
Got my trusty gun.
And my bullets by my side.
And my bullets by my side.
Water.
Water.
Wide water.
Wide water.
Lion.
Lion.
Are you over there?
Are you over there?
No.
No.
I'm going lion hunting.
I'm going lion hunting.
I'm not afraid.
I'm not afraid.
Got my trusty guns
Got my trusty guns
and my bullets by my side.
and my bullets by my side.
Tree,
Tree,
tall tree.
tall tree.
Lion,
Lion,
are you up there?
are you up there?
No.
No.
I'm going lion hunting.
I'm going lion hunting.
I'm not afraid.
I'm not afraid.
Got my trusty guns
Got my trusty guns
and my bullets by my side.
and my bullets by my side.
Mountain,
Mountain,
tall mountain.
tall mountain.
Lion,
Lion,
are you up there?
are you up there?
No. I'm going lion hunting.
I'm going lion hunting.
I'm not afraid.
I'm not afraid.
Got my trusty gun
Got my trusty guns
and my bullets by my side.
and my bullets by my side.
Cave,
Cave,
deep cave,
deep cave,
deep, deep cave.
deep, deep cave.
Lion,
Lion,
are you in there?
are you in there?
Lion,
Worst
Lion,
place to find a lion.
are you in there?
are you in there?
My name is
Lion,
Lion,
are you in there?
are you in there?
Yes. Lion,
Lion,
are you in there?
are you in there?
Yes. Oh my gosh, out of the cave, out of the cave, get out of the cave, get out of the cave, get out. Down the mountain, quick, down the mountain, up the tree, down the tree, down the tree. Swim. Cross the bridge, through the grass. Oh, safe at home.
That yes as well.
That was fun.
She died.
Tell me about the prosody of that little activity. Tell me what you picked up.
You practice asking a question with information, like, lion, are you in there? Like this.
Okay. What else did you pick up?
You also change the questions to emphasize a different word. Are you, not someone else, are you in there?
Yes, I did. That's why I said it. So even though you guys were yelling yes and roaring, that's why I did it differently. If you noticed, when he was in the cave, I asked it different ways every time. What else about prosody?
Sometimes like the yes and the no, you have like a long yes and a long no.
I did. And you know what? You guys repeated it exactly like I did it. Did you know that? You were repeating exactly, whatever I was doing, you were repeating it exactly the same.
You change your voice for adjectives. Long
Very good.
like describe that.
And that's going to be my next question too. What else did we learn doing that? And by the way, that's the first time I've noticed that bridge was spelled wrong. And I have done this. And you guys, your eyes got very big, and I thought, what? And I turned around,
Right,
bridge was spelled wrong. But what else did we teach? What else did we teach?
I mean, it's not like for intonation, but it's for like prepositions, like are you up there, are you in there? Are you
Yes,
in
we
there?
did. We went through a lot of prepositions, and that kind of answers your question when you're saying, you say to the students, she will be here. So we're doing conversation, we're doing things in this little thing to show some different tenses, some different adjectives. Okay, what else?
There was an emotional component to it at the end, when you reviewed all the words in like a frantic way.
Yes, we were running back through all of that stuff. So it was, we were showing emotions as we did that, and they had to learn to go back through it all. What else? Yes.
I think you just integrated a lot of different learning styles. So we had auditory, we had visual, we had kinesthetic, we had there was one more I forgot. I'm sorry, but there were a lot.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We did. Was it fun?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think your students would like that?
Yes.
Trust me, they will want to do it every day. And you'll get so sick of this that you won't want to do it ever again in your lifetime. So, just teaching that simple thing in prosody made a big difference. And again, all the things that we're teaching. All the things that we're teaching. Do you think your disabled learners can do this?
Yes, of course.
Do you, if a child is having trouble with prosody, do you think this will help them?
Yes.
Because I'm telling you, every time I said it, you repeated it exactly the way I said it. As a group, you repeated it that way. Okay. Limericks come next. We'll do these when we come back. Is this a coffee break or is this
A regular break.
just like a 15-minute break?
Break.
Oh.
Coffee break with tea, coffee, and cookies.
Oh.